So lads, welcome to Oak Swamp and part 45 of the Austin 10 special wrap. Firstly this week I'd like to thank everyone who left a like and a comment. Secondly, massive thanks to everyone who bought one of my lovely Oak Swamp t-shirts and all went to the tip jar. Now if you follow the channel, you will know the band Rockjaw John who I've been using for the series. Now a bit later on there's going to be a chance to win the 3 albums I used on the series. So make sure you hang around. Anyway, the wrap this week, my main objective is to get him on the road and legal, and then once I've done that is get him up the weighbridge and get him weighed. So without further ado, let's get on with it. First job I'm going to do today is put another leaf in these rear springs. Now these springs were half the rear springs of the original car. The car's half the weight, but with 2 people on, it's just on the edge. I think I could get away with it if it's a single seater, but I think I just need to add a bit more grunt. So I've got the other end of this, and I'm going to put the bottom on both sides, so you've got a double thickness leaf at the bottom, and it should stiffen up a bit. And I've also got to finish these shocks off because these were temporaried up. Bought this last week for 15 quid. Austin 10 Cambridge, about 38 I think. But I like that rear lamp. I really like it. It's glass as well. Maggots arrived. Okay, to get at these springs, fortunately I had the foresight of making this back portion here as a separate bit, so I can take this off and then I can get the spring out. So you've got to do this when you're building, really, is put provision in for taking it apart. Unlike the cars of today, well, unlike any of the cars, they really didn't care about the mechanic. All they cared about was getting them out, I think. After working on that Minx last week, it made me realise how little they tried to make it easy on the consumer to service it and all that. I just undo that. So that now, I'll get right out of this spring because that just pulled back and yeah. This is a good opportunity for me now to rust up these U-bolts and cut a bit off them because they're a bit long. And there's that nice fat bracket I made for underneath. Right, this should just... There's a top piece I made, I forgot about that. Looks alright now, it's rusted in, doesn't it? Get an extra spring in there, I'm going to have to alter that. Paul drilled these holes in here for me ages ago, but it means I'm going to have to drill another one. Right, here's the other leaf. So what I'm thinking is, oh, how long he is. I got to drill a hole in him though. I wonder if that hole's going to match up. Oh, that hole does match up. Superb. So then it'll look like that. So you've got a big thick 2 on the bottom. But what I'll do is drill that hole out first, cut it off, and try this before I make the strap. If you've ever drilled a leaf spring out before, you'll know how brutally hard they are. So let's see what happens on this limb. We've got some Trefalux on there, haven't we? Yeah, before I start on the leaf, before I get stuck into another project, I'm going to sort this garage out a bit because it's still not quite set up. Right, so we got power cut. Spring's completely straight, and that one that's bending up, so I think maybe I need to take them Austin ones off. That would involve me drilling all the leaves. Doesn't quite seem enough to me. Right, parcel's arrived. If this is what I think it is, it's a bit of a weird one. I really hope it's going to be as cool as I think it's going to be. I was having a chat with a guy in the week about this very issue. So if you've got a little motor like this, you've got nowhere to store anything, you know. I go out, I want to take my phone, take my GoPro and all the memory cards and batteries and stuff. so I need somewhere to put it. So all week long I was looking at eBay in the women's section, and yeah, let's get this shit off of it though first. Right, I know that looks a bit naughty, but I'm going to do something with that. Now look, what you got in there is enough room to put all your shit. And my plan is to have them just there. Yeah, that's the fella. So I'm going to get rid of those tags, bolt them to the side, and there's my glove box. 10-12 quid on eBay. It's the first time I've looked at handbags on eBay before. I was going to use the satchel on this. A friend of mine, Bryce, right mate, he gave me a satchel, but it's a bit big, so it can go on one of the others. But I think this is a valuable addition to this little car. I wonder if that is brass or is it metal. Cool. Yeah, it's brass, perfect. We're around about. I'm going to cut these ears off, I think, because they ain't doing no good. Ah, look what it does. Oh, I'm wearing bleeding stitches out. Yeah, it's starting to look like it now, Mersh. I think about stamping something in there. It's better, doesn't it? This is a bit 80s, this, but I think if I get the number stamp and stamp something across there. Oh, it's got some dents in it now. Oh dear. But I'm happy with that. Look at the way this goes in really easy. I was talking to my mate Neil about this on Oak Swamp Rats. He suggested the very same idea. I'd already ordered this by then, but this is what I got now. 80s fashion handbag. Right, next job is this horn. This is like an old cabbie horn. And this would have had a little tag on it where it connected to the cab. And it's got a really nice... I found this bit of brass, and what I plan to do, cut that off with the swage, bolt that on, and then solder this on top so it sits there. So the horn's right next to the handbrake. You won't be able to press it because you'll be grabbing the handbrake, I expect. And looking forward to putting this on. Right, while I'm soldering up, this from when I bought it had been glued on, so I'm going to sweat that bit on as well.
I was working hard and stacking hay when a hippie gal done come my way. No shoes on the feet and beads in the hair, smoking that weed without a care.
Still fluxed up. I hope I don't mess this up, because I like this horn.
She said, hey man, I just wanted to chill out.
Gently, Bentley. So
I hung her from the roof of my barn, and now she's chilling out nicely.
Okay, so is it going to work after being soldered on? Greg's arrived. Yeah! Chris had to go out sharpening the drill. See if the boat building community can sharpen drills.
You're wondering why I strung that bitch up like that, and you think I'm a devil of a mind. Well, I'm telling you straight, there's some things that I hate, and the worst thing of all is them goddamn hippies. And I hate hippies. I hate hippies. I hate hippies.
A spring in each side, and I'll turn the shocks up a bit, and it feels quite a bit stiffer. So fast forwarding into the future, because my original footage was corrupt. What that noise was this in here. If you look under there now, I've removed the lower joint, because the problem was this should have been behind the centre line, because as soon as you added torque, this just bent in the middle. The centre line of the axle was there, so bouncing up and down was fine because this didn't change. But as soon as you added torque and you spun this up, this just went straight up. What it needed to be on or beyond the line of the axle to work properly. At this point I was filled with dread, thinking I've stuffed this. But for some reason, when I put the shock absorbers on this, I put big massive Bentley ones on. Completely overkill for this. I mean, what I've done, and I didn't need to do anything to do this, I just lifted them up and now I'm using them as a lower support. I was wondering if this would work or not, but 4 8mm bolts holding it together, and you got this 1/2 inch bolt going through the centre. There's 3 bits of 2mm coming back. I mean, we're not talking very much horsepower. And I've road tested it, and it actually feels a lot better. But the springs are going to need changing. So it was a massive fail. But fortunately, these little puppies, I must have been thinking about this or something, because I put them in exactly the right place, and they're way too big. Austin 10 ones would have been more than enough for this, and these are like off a 2-ton Bentley or something. So I'm going with it, and I'm happy with it. Looks alright, doesn't it? Okay, I've just spent all morning trying to sort out insurance, but look, I put a thing on Oak Swamp Rats the other day about if anyone had any 450 tyres. One of the rats, Warren Cole, sent me a message saying he's seen these tyres, so I got straight on it and I bought. I'll do a big reveal in a minute. The thing was, the guy advertised them as 450 18s, right? And that's what's on there at the moment. Now I wanted to go a little bit bigger. I really wanted sort of a 5-inch tyre, just to bring it up just a little bit, just because of the gearing. It had 6s on it last time, and I thought 5 would be somewhere in the middle. And he said they were 450s, but they're actually, oh, Dunlop Gold Seal. He said these hadn't done very many miles. 475, so they're 4 3/4 inches wide by 5 tall. Top one's brand new. That is absolutely brand spanking new. And look, just a little bit taller, you see? And that'll give me, oh, that does look sexy. That'll make its legs a little bit longer. There's 4 part warm and 1 brand new one. Oh yeah. Ah, they are only just part worn as well. Nice looking tyre. One of them, the wall's a bit knackered on, so he didn't charge me for it. And he's given me a couple of inner tubes to go with it and all. Plenty of tread on that though. 50 quid a man. There was another guy who sent me an email regarding these tyres. I can't remember your name, but I'm going to put it here now. But cheers, dude. Right, so Tom's over and we're going to MOT the rat just quickly. Tom's been MOTing for how many years, Tom? 8 years.
7, 8 years, huh?
And he's a bus MOTer as well. Is it? Do they call them bus MOTs?
No, bus inspector.
Right hand indicator. Left hand indicator. Brakes.
Oh.
What about this? Is this okay? This spinning.
There's not really any criteria for the prop shafts.
So you got to watch your laces in this.
Yeah, that's not really a testable item, unfortunately.
It's not?
No.
So it's alright to have that like that. Do you think, if someone brought this, if you was at work and someone brought this in and it had the prop showing like that?
Well, it's not really a testable item because the prop shaft doesn't come into it anyway. Not unless if it was fouling on the body, maybe. But there's not criteria for prop shaft too exposed to occupants.
Would you do an advise on it?
Yeah, but you could advise, yeah. But then what are you going to advise as well? That you can see outside and...
Yeah, your feet are on the gearbox.
But you test that as the sort of vehicle it is. If you're presenting something that's got bucket seats and a roll cage and you get in it, then you test it as that. So you're testing this as how this is.
So obviously you would test the kingpins for play and wheel back.
Kingpins, all of that sort of thing. The tyres, that's probably the main thing that would come into it, a lot of it. Brakes, you just do a
decelerometer.
Yeah. Handbrake, same again.
Handbrake's banging. 4 wheels.
No windscreen, so there's no...
No. If I took this for an MOT and they did it as a daytime MOT, if I put lights on it, would I need to go for a retest?
No, just drive it straight away.
Yeah.
You could just then... there's not really such thing as a daytime MOT. It's a normal MOT, but when it's dark, you can't drive it because you don't have lights.
It's advised.
Yeah, you would. It's just almost a given that you're not to drive it when it's dark because you don't have lights.
Gotcha. And
yeah, so if you took this for tested it like this, and then you put headlights and everything else on, fine, drive at night.
Well, no retest.
No.
That's interesting, isn't it?
No. Yeah, interesting.
How about the VIN number hanging up there?
No.
Trinket VIN number.
Yeah, they don't like that.
They don't like that.
No, that needs to be on. Yeah, one's a bit underneath, and there's no cracks in anything or anything major. Yeah, any safety items on it. But yeah, as is now, fine, good enough. If you went to a really fussy tester, you might walk out with a load of advisories.
Sharp edges.
Of loads of it. They could advise every single bit and just to cover their ass, but for the vehicle it's not abnormal for it to be like that, is it? That's the thing. If a Renault Clio comes in, it's really noisy, you can fail it on noise emissions. If a Ferrari comes in, makes the same noise, but that's fit for that vehicle, so it doesn't. It's not. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. That's good that it's like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bit of common sense involved in it, isn't it?
It predates being even needing an MOT, but if you do MOT it, most of these standards that have come in way later, so this would be exempt from all of them anyway. Yeah, it's.
As it didn't have to have an MOT, and we didn't have very much time, I didn't get it MOT'd. I just went up the post office and sorted it out that way because of its age. It's exempt. Right, so there they are, looking banging. That tyre rack looks lovely, filled up with new tyres. So he's legal now. He's taxed and he's insured. So the first thing's going to get these tyres changed over, because you can see, look, these are right down on the wear limit. It might not have to have an MOT, but I'm still obliged to have it roadworthy. So the new tyres are going on this morning. I've got a couple of bits of welding I haven't finished. Look, I've been smoking around. This is threaded obviously, but I just tacked it the other day, so I'm going to weld it up properly. I'm going to go around and check every nut and bolt, check everything's sort of tight. What I've definitely got to do today is this gate, because it's going everywhere now. I just need to remake the little bit inside. Get these wheels off and take them up to MP tyres. So I took this for a little spin just round the block yesterday, you know, I couldn't help it. What I get the feeling of is feeling vulnerable. That's the main feeling. Probably because I haven't drove a car like this for a long time, but that's the feeling I got. And I think getting on the big roads, no indicators, and you're so low down, lorry wheel will come to above your head. With the wheel off, you can see how the setup is now. And all the time I've had these here, I was like, why didn't I use those for bottom links? Because it's going to be a lot tougher. If it really comes unstuck, what I'll do, I'll bring a couple of links from right down there, and then I could bring them to here even. It's absolutely lagging down now. We're in stand my Toyota.
You filming me?
Yeah, now I'm filming the tyre. It's listening to you though, you fucker. Now you see this fella here, I played his wedding. Didn't I? I played your wedding.
Yeah, that was in 2016, that was.
2016. What happened? Did you throw her out?
I ended up walking out on it.
Are you happy now?
I'd rather be broken, happy, than comfortable and sad.
Yeah, baby. I'll see you next time, boys. Couldn't help myself, I just stuck one on and they look bang on. Moving on to this back light, I've decided to whip this side light off. This D lamp I got the other day, and I figure I'm going to have him just there. Right, here you go. This is what I need. I was going to make this out of steel, but I keep adding weight, so I'm making it out of that. It looks like a cock, doesn't it?
Run, girlie, run, run, run. Me and the boys want some fun, fun, fun. Bang and the bang goes Grandpappy's gun. And poor little girlie, you're fucking done, yeah. Run, girlie, don't make a sound. Can't stop your head from a
trim it up.
Get your ass running
Right, I've got to redo this because it's getting over too far and it's not locking out for reverse, so I'm gonna get a big screwdriver. Right, what I've done is cut a bit of 4mm steel. I'm on my second go on it, but I think this is it. I've moved it over by about 5 or 6mm. Let's see what it does. I think this is going to be the kiddie, with any luck. Well, that was a good shot. That's got it now. You see it? It only goes over as far as reverse now. Brilliant. The light looks okay, but I'm not sure on it yet. Tyres look cool though, so I'm gonna. Oh, and there's a rear view mirror. It's not fitted completely yet, but I think you notice the tyres a little bit nearer. It's all right. Really tight. That rear suspension feels so much better. There you go, someone was helping me up there. Someone was helping me somewhere. Oh, I just filled up the rear axle with D140 by Castrol. It was an interesting fill because it's right down there. I painstakingly used this bit of copper tube, poked it in there and then just dribbled it down. Took ages. Now I've taken this drag link off now, and I think it's time I welded it. I'm happy with the position of it. Alright, so I ground it all up. It looks a bit better. This one's a bit ropey, but I don't care. I'm gonna let it rust anyway. I don't know why they made this hole so small. You have to kind of dribble it in there. Right, so to add a bit more brass into the mix, I'm replacing nuts like this with these lovely brass dome nuts. They're just going to go a slightly different colour anyway. That's the sort of idea. Add a little bit of contrast in there. Give these back corners a bit of a tidy up because they were never finished. I've got to take a bit more out where I've added another leaf in there. That's better. Just grease till the brakes up. This is the original Austin mirror and I love it. Looks just the part, but you can see it needs resilvering. So I'm going to put the 70s one on. I've aged it up a bit. There's no point in having a mirror unless it's working. This Sunday I was listening to YouTube as I was clearing the garage up, and it started beeping, and it says it's showing a state of emergency. This is what would happen if we had a nuclear war. Oh dear, that doesn't sound fucking good, does it? You know what I mean? Are we in a new Cold War now? I think we are. They've given us that warning. What are we supposed to do? Put some sheets over the table, get underneath it and paint ourselves white to deflect the blast? Right, so onto the tip jar. Overwhelmed by the response at the tip jar this week. There's a list, so I'm getting on with it. Thanks a lot, guys. Jonathan Farrowell, Paul Chapman, Graham Kelly, Helen Sparrow, Pete Pumpkin Eater Spillman, Thomas Cribb, Tony Basuttil Reynard, Michael Everson, Aviator Speed Shop. Now you want to pop over and see the Aviator Speed Shop. He does some really cool aluminium sort of bomber seats and all sort of aviation inspired art, really. But I'll leave a link in the description below. Have a look at that. And finally, Chris, Rangy Man Blades.
Rangy Man!
Nice one. Cheers, dude. You're keeping this channel alive. Monday. Right. I come out here first thing this morning. I've been tightening up all the bolts, getting everything ready. And I fired them up, just getting warmed up. And then it stopped. It wouldn't go again. So I tried to fire them up again. And remember, I made a snap ring for this. It's gone now. So I've got to take the starter motor out again. That is really, really annoying. But what can I do? So I was just about to take him up the weighbridge to get him weighed. But is that going to happen today? My own fault for not getting the right piece, I suppose. Now we were about here somewhere. I've lost the other washer. Right, because I can't be asked to go through all the rigmarole of trying to make a thing again, I'll just run a tap down the very end of this. I'll just run a die down this. What I plan to do is nut this on, and then I'll put a tack in the middle. I've done. I was lucky I had the flooring with this, really, because the bit would have shot up and got me straight in the nuts. I know it's sketchy. What am I going to do? Now it's got that Loctite stuff on it, so I think that's going to hold it together. I'm considering a little tack on the top, because I can just grind that off. I think that's what I do. Run out of gas. Better than nothing, but I've run out of gas. So, like it's not getting any fuel. So it turns out it was this float bowl. I think the needle was sticking and it wasn't letting enough fuel through. I had another one of these without a return on, so I put that on and it seems to be working okay now. Right, I'm gonna see if we can make it round the shores. So I've popped round to Sean's and he's going to follow me down to Huntley's in this transit, just in case I break down, which feels quite likely after this morning. We got the new goggles. I'm not sure yet though. I'm going to stick with me wraps for a minute. The bonnet's held on by 2 G-clamps. Is that legal? But I've got to be honest with you, I feel tiny bit apprehensive, to be completely honest with you, because this is its proper run. Right, wish me luck.
Redneck, retard,
made it. We fucking made it. It feels good, man.
Sign up.
No parking. It's got hardly any fuel. Ian leaves his oil at a fucking rate of knots anyway. He ain't got any water leaks. So how much?
I'm gonna say 335. No, 333.
Really, that low?
For all the threes. Well, mine's 450.
I reckon. I weighed it on the corners and it was 80 kilos a corner. I reckon it's 372.
Oh, you're gonna go high three?
I think so. I'm going to take the cushions and the GoPros off. Right, we're going to drive on the weighbridge now. If you want a chance of winning these free Drop Jaw John albums, all you got to do is leave me a comment below saying how much you think the rat weighs in kilos. That's right, it's proper fun.
Well, I ain't as dumb as I look, and I don't really give a fuck. And I'm built like a fucking truck, and I'm hard. I'm a redneck retard. Redneck retard. Redneck retard. Redneck retard. Yeah! Well, you never saw it coming and you still can't understand how. No, you never saw it coming and you still can't understand how. I've got your house and your wife, so who's a fucking fool now? I've got your house and your wife, so you're the fucking fool now. Well, I ain't as dumb as I look, and I don't really give a fuck. And I'm built like a fucking truck, and I'm hard. I'm a redneck retard. Redneck retard. Well, I ain't as dumb as I look, and I don't really give a fuck. But I'm built like a fucking truck, and I'm hard. I'm a redneck retard. 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 I'm a redneck retard.
There we go, Ted.
Good out.
What do you think?
Yeah, great.
There's bits of you on that.
Yeah.
Bits of all of you on that.
Yeah.
Well, I took it down and weighed it this morning, Ted.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you. Don't tell them though, because they might be guessing on the show,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
what it is. That's not bad, is
No,
it?
that is surprising.
It is surprising, isn't it? Yeah, old Ted's got it. Light as a feather, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, good lad. Have I paid you for this, Ted? I have, haven't I?
Yeah.
I got a handbag in there off of eBay,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
and I got all my GoPro stuff in it.
Oh, I love your throttle.
So there he is, and he's on the road. Things to do still, I've got to change these rear springs, and then I can make the shocks a bit looser, and it'll make the ride a bit smoother. Apart from that, everything feels pretty good. Brakes feel good. Everything's starting to bite in now. Motor runs alright. Could do with finishing off tuning it up though, opening up the gaskets and what have you, still got to be done. So that draws this week to an end, I'm afraid, lads. So next week I'm going to start back on, well, it's this week now. I say next week, but it's this week. So this week I'm going to be cracking on with Mary Jane a bit more, finish that, get that running on the road. And I've got a bit of a show to go next week, so make sure you tune in. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do it right now. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like and a comment. If you're feeling flush, leave me a couple of quid in the tip jar. Better still, buy one of my snazzy Oak Swamp t-shirts, and I will catch you dudes next time. Hang loose. Ah, fuck me. Throttle just keeps jamming on. It'll be alright. We'll carry on. It constantly rains in this country. This country's just fuck. Sean bought me these goggles. I look like a bleeding moth, don't I? Oh, look. So fast forwarding. I'm fucking sick of this weather. Look at me and me fucking thing again. So fast forwarding. Now, I've taken the lowest point. I've taken the lowest point. Don't know nothing about no fucking tires. So fast forwarding into the future. So move. Fast forwarding to the. Fast forwarding to the future for a second. Just buy my t-shirts and I'll give you a free sticker.